So yeah, then let us continue. This is now, we are nearly at the end with the class. I mean, I hope we can finish this chapter today and next week the granites, and then we are done. So then you have 2 weeks more to prepare yourself for the exam. And in the remaining 4 weeks, the remaining 2 weeks, I mean, we will continue with the practical, with the sin section, isn't it? Yeah. So, and I will upload by the end of the week the test. Then we have here, we are talking now about metamorphic mafic rocks. So you should know by now what a mafic rock is. A mafic rock, for example, is what? What is a mafic inches line? That is a gabbro, yeah? A gabbro and a basalt as well, yeah? So and if you are, if such a gabbro or a basalt undergoes metamorphism, and we have first, you have to hydrate your gabbro on its way from the middle ridge, from the middle ocean ridge to the, for example, subduction zone or collision zone. So, and then dehydration reaction will take place, and then you will make a metamorphic rock out of it. So, but you can also metamorphose gabbros by the breakdown of some nominally anhydrous minerals, but they contain still a little bit water. So, and here we have the first slide, number 8, we have a pillow core, yeah, that you can see here. Here is the pillow core. So, and where can you find pillows? You have seen them already during ES203 field trip, yeah? There you have the pillow lavas, yeah? So, and now we have still here a pillow core, but this pillow core is now underwent high-grade metamorphism, and that we can see here. We have here a zone which contains of garnet and omphacite. And you know the omphacite, you know this by now, that is the pyroxene which you can only find in eclogites, yeah? So then you have some clinozoicide inside, and this clinozoicide is later, it's formed after this garnet and omphacite, that is during retrograde metamorphism, and then you have some glaucophan inside. And you know in which rock, or you should know it by now, in which rock you will find glaucophan. That you can find in the blue schist, yeah? So that you can find in the blue schist, then we went here along a steep geotherm, yeah? Because we went through the field of the blue schists, and the glaucophan can also be stable under eclogite phase metamorphism. So if we are talking about a steep geotherm, then we are talking about what? A subduction or collision. That is subduction. So then we have here chloride, paragonite, fenchite, talc. That is in the interpillow zone. That was then also formed later. because of the mineral chloride. So that means when we are making or when we are forming a chloride, then this rock went probably during retrograde metamorphism through the field of the green schists, because the chloride is the mineral which makes the green schist green. So, and then we have a glaucophan-rich pillow rim, and why do you think is the why do you think you have more glaucophan at the rim of the pillow and not inside the pillow? What do you need to form a glaucophan? There you need water, yeah, because glaucophan is an amphibole, and then you are forming them more at the rim of the pillow because there water has access, that's all. So and here you have just a diffusion process inside the pillow, and there you are forming then some glaucophan because water does not have that easily access. So because this fluid goes always the most comfortable way, and that is then along fracture zones or along boundaries, yeah. So and then you have this formerly pillows, and I mean the fact that you can still observe these pillow structures shows you that the fluid activity was actually very low, yeah? Because the fluid, or let us say water, had more access, then you cannot observe later any pillow structures. Yep. So then we have the next slide. We have here also omphasited garnet, and this is an eclogite, yeah. Then we have here glaucophan, also around along the fracture zone. Then we have here some anchorite. So, and what is why do we have here anchorite? What volatile is inside an anchorite? There is CO2 inside, yeah? So that means we had during metamorphism also CO2 in our volatile. So then we have here the next slide, yeah. So here we have stilbite, and we have apophyllite, scolecite, yeah, what the scolecite also is. Then we have pupillite, but the pupillite you know. So, and if you can read the mineral pupillite, then it shows you what. Or actually you cannot read it on the naked rock. There you have to identify it. So and what tells you the mineral pupillite? Also the stilbite. Only if you are looking here at this, all these needles, yeah? I mean you have the growth of all these needles, yeah? So is this then high-grade metamorphism or low-grade metamorphism? That is very low-grade metamorphism because during high-grade metamorphism, these minerals like stilbite and pupillite are not stable. So in such a pupillite, I mean, there you have, or you found in your textbook, I saw it when you have handed in your test. There you have different, or you use actually different metamorphic facies diagram. So in this metamorphic facies diagram used by Escolar in 1915, you have the subgreen schist facies, yeah? So in this, there are typical minerals which are formed or can be found under subgreen schist facies conditions. So, and then there is another metamorphic facies diagram around, and there you have the zeolite facies and the phrenite and the pupillite facies. So, and if you are checking the PT conditions of these pupillite facies or phrenite facies, that is then in the same PT range like the subgreen schist. So, and then we have our last microphotograph, yeah, that is now also in the hand specimen. Then we have here CPX and OPX and plagioclase. So we have an OPX which is swimmed by CPX. So for which metamorphic or in which metamorphic facies you will find both pyroxenes, that means the CPX and the OPX together. That is in granulites. So the granulites you can subdivide in one pyroxene granulites and in two pyroxene granulites. And here we have a 2-pyroxene granulite, and the 2-pyroxene granulite is formed by pressures up to, let us say, 7 or 8 kilobars. So whereas the 1-pyroxene granulite is then formed at higher pressures, and this 1-pyroxene granulite can be stable up to 15 kilobars. Then you have also the garnet inside, and that is a typical mineral assemblage for a granulite facies rock. So then we are going to the next slide. So here we have a list of all the minerals which you can find in metabasaltic rocks. So in the metabasaltic rocks or metacarbonate rocks, you can find a lot of different minerals inside. So in there we have some, the author has subdivided in the different silicate structures. We have the nesosilicate. So in the nesosilicate, I mean the most common nesosilicate, that is the mineral olivine. So but you can find also, or in metabasalt, the nesosilicate is the mineral garnet, which can occur as having the 3 end members, the almandine, the pyro, and the grossular. So then you have some sorosilicates. There's the kyanite, very important. These are actually all the Al2SiO5 minerals. It's the kyanite, the silimanite, and the andesite. So in the other sorosilicates, they are containing all a lot of OH, or even water like the pupillite or the lobsonite. So in these very, very high-stress minerals, they are stable under the only, or they only occur in very low-grade metamorphic rocks. So then we have the chain silicates, these are the pyroxenes. You have the diopside, jadate, hypastine, and omphacite. Then you can find a bunch of different amphiboles in metabasalts. These are then the tremolite, actinolite, the glaucophanes, typical for the blue schist, the parasussite, Germacite, and hornblende. Then you have the sheet silicates, you have the dioctaedral micas, and you have the trioctaedral micas. Dioctaedral micas, this is then the muscovite, the paragonite, and the valdarite. And the trioctaedral micas, these are then the biotites, which can then be subdivided or splitted into the end members, phlogopite, anite, siderophyllite, and histolite. So, but you have also the chloride, and the chloride is the mineral which makes then the green schist green. And that is also a sheet silicate, and you should know this by now. Then we have the tectosilicates, we have the quartz, the anorthite, albite, analcite, and scapolite. We have some zeolites, and the zeolites are typical for very, very low-grade or pure only in very, very low-grade metamorphic rocks, like the subrigists. So, and then we have some carbonates inside. There we have the calcite, the aragonite, calcite and aragonite is both calcium carbonate. So these are then also polymorph minerals. Then we have the dolomite. So then we are going to the next slide, please. So now, last week we did the metapelitic rocks, and the metapelitic rocks we are to describe or making our writing down our mineral reactions. We use the AFM projection, yeah, for the metapelitic rocks, because, and the projection was done with muscovite or K-feldspar in excess. So here to describe the metabasaltic rocks, we are using the ACF projection. It would also be good if you, when you are preparing yourself for the examination, to study this projection, that you are able to write down for the projection. And for which rocks you will use the ACF projection, yeah? So, and now we have here an ACF projection with quartz, aragonite, albite or jadate in excess, muscovite, K-feld and K-feldspar is also in excess, and we have fluid in excess. And this fluid consists of water and CO2. So, I mean, here we have done just a projection from a tetrahedron here using the sodium and the potassium phases, and here we have just a triangle with aluminium, calcium, and iron. That is the ACF. So, and here we have the different minerals. Here we have also the mineral staurolite. We can also form it metamafic rocks, but it is much more common in metapelitic rocks. As I told you last week, I have actually never seen a staurolite in a metabasalt, but maybe the author of the book has seen that. So, then we have here the cordiorite, chloritolite spinel. Here we have our garnets, and the garnets have here this barrow. So, and this barrow is for the iron, magnesium, calcium exchange in the garnet. Here we have iron, here we have calcium. Then we are making here the iron-calcium exchange. Then we have here the amphiboles, and the amphiboles making the Charmark substitution, and you know by now what the Charmark is. This is silica plus magnesium becomes replaced by 2 aluminium. So if we are putting pressure on our amphiboles, then the amphiboles becoming more enriched in aluminium, because aluminium, the bubble is smaller, so and therefore you can make the atomic unit smaller. So then we have here the lawsonite, zeolite, the clinosuicide, suicide, and the phrenite. Here we have the plagioclase, here we have the margarite mica, here we have the pumpelite, and here on this side we have then the autopyroxene, autoamphibole, and the type, the biotite projected from the fenchite, because therefore creating a biotite we have to make a projection using muscovite or fenchite, that is the potassium pyramid mica, or at higher temperatures we are making the projection from the K-feldspar. So in this, when we are, or if we are using the K-feldspar to make the projection, then we know that we are dealing with a granulite facious rock, because in the transition zone between the amphibolites and the granulites, the hydrous minerals will break down. Then you will create some migmatites. So, and the granulite itself is nearly free of hydrous minerals. So what else do we have here? Yeah, we have here the glaucophan. Glaucophan is this bluish amphibole, which is rich in sodium. So and therefore, to plot this amphibole, we need a sodium-rich phase as a fourth phase, and therefore the author has used Pg, and that is paragonite. So then here in the middle we have the CPX. So in the CPX makes also what foreign exchange? An iron magnesium exchange between the dioxide and member and the Hedenbandite and member. So these are so far most of the minerals which you can find in metamorphic rocks with their different element exchanges. Then we are going to the next slide, please. So now we are comparing metamorphic rocks with metaphylitic rocks under green schist and amphibolite facies conditions, and which minerals are common in both rock types. When we are talking about green schist, then the most common mineral in the green schist, that is the chloride, that is the mineral zoning, yeah, that is, these are the index minerals, yeah. So in the chloride you can have in the green schist as well in the metamorphic rocks as well as in the metaphylitic rocks. Here we have the chloride, here we have the chloride, then we can have in both rock types, we can have biotite and muscovite. So that the garnet we can only have in the metaphylitic rocks. So we can have here in the metaphylitic rocks also the no staurolite, we have just the list here. So and here in the metapelitic rocks we have the chloride, and we have the muscovite, and we have some plagioclase. So now we are again correct. And in the green schists here, in the metamorphic rocks, we have the chloride, we have epidote, actinolite, chloride, and we can have a little bit calcite, a little bit muscovite, and a little bit quartz. So now we are running out of the green schist phases, or we are still in the green schist phases, but in the transition zone between the green schist and the amphibolite phases rocks. So in there in the transition zone, our albite becomes consumed, but we are forming then the newer albite, which is called an oligoclase. And the oligoclase contains then a little bit more calcium, because the albite is the sodium end member. Then we have again the epidote is unstable, the actinolite becomes also consumed, but we are forming then the hornblende, and that is another amphibole which you are starting to form in the transition zone between the green schists and the amphibolites. Then we have some biotite, but here we have a greenish to brownish biotite, and here the biotite is then more brown. So what do you think? Why is this the case? Oops. Which element exchange you can find in biotites? That is the iron-magnesium exchange. Neil will show you also on the thin section. So the greenish biotite, that is the iron-rich biotite, formed at lower temperatures and pressures. So and then the biotite becomes the more magnesium-rich, while you are increasing the temperature, and then it becomes more brown. So in metamorphic rocks you have then still a little bit. If you can just go to the slide. Yes. You have only a little bit muscovite and a little bit quartz. So whereas in metapelites you have always quartz, and you have actually quartz in excess. So because in these metapelites we are putting always quartz in excess. For calculating PD phase diagrams, we can actually also put the quartz in the metamorphic rocks in excess. So then here early in the amphibolite phases we are forming the garnet. In the metamorphic rocks, first garnet is formed in the transition zone between the green schist and the amphibolites. But you are forming then always more and more garnets. Then the hornblende is here at first blue to greenish, becomes then more green, and then more green and to brownish. And that is also due to the iron-magnesium exchange in the amphiboles, but in the amphiboles you have also the German substitution. I mean, in the biotites, you can have also the German substitutions, and we have written down it on the board here. So then in the middle of the amphibolite, in the middle amphibolites, or medium grade amphibolites you find in another index mineral, that is the staurolite. And I told you also last week that the staurolite is only formed in a very small PT window and can be therefore used as an index mineral. So here we have only the staurolite there in the metapelitic rocks, and the same in the metamorphic rocks. Staurolite is formed under the same pressure and temperature conditions. So then you have here the andesite and the silimanite. That is here in this under silimanite, when you have silimanite as an index mineral. And I mean, all these alumosilicates can be used as an index mineral, and the silimanite is typical for very high temperatures more than, let us say, 700 degrees Celsius or even more, depending under which pressure conditions. So that is so far to that. The next slide. So that is then also such a diagram like I showed you last week when we were talking about the metapelites. So this one is such a diagram which has been constructed for the metamorphic rocks, and that is also a very, very helpful diagram. Using here, that is the basalt composition, yeah? So when you are walking here around, you can find a lot of basalts and some gabbros. That is here the composition. You have plagioclase, you have CPX. You can have here in a wider field also orthopyroxene with quartz and water in excess. So now we have here a lot of triangles inside, a lot of ACF triangles, representing different mineral assemblages in rocks, which we are forming in different geotectonic settings. We are running here along this steep geotherm, which is typical for what? For a geotectonic setting. That is typical for subduction. So and then we are running here along a geotherm. Here, talking about medium pressures and medium temperatures. And in which geotectonic setting where can we find such a medium temperature and medium pressure geotherm. So that we can find in a collision zone between continental fragments or even whole continents. So and then we have this one here, high temperatures and relatively low pressures. And where can you find such a geotherm? That is in contact alveoles. That is where we have contact metamorphism. So now we are sitting here in the subgreen schist facies, or we are sitting here under subgreen schist facies conditions, or in the subgreen schist. So, and then we have here the mineral assemblage. That is always the mineral assemblage here in the gray shaded field. We have laumontite, we have dolomite, we have chloride, and fenchite in excess. So what happened to this rock? So this rock was formerly a basalt, and then this basalt becomes affected by water and CO2 rich fluid. So and now we are sending this rock here consisting of chloride, laumontite and dolomite. We are sending them now. Where should we send it? We are sending them now to hell using a subduction zone. Then we are going along the steep geotherm. So, but I mean, we can have thousands of geotherms. We can have here a geotherm, we can have here a geotherm, and we can have here. So, but if we are now putting all these geotherms, which we can find on Earth, in such a diagram, then the diagram is no longer useful, it is completely useless, because it is then a black box. Therefore, we are using just a typical geotherm which we can find in the subduction zone, a typical medium and medium pressure and medium temperature geotherm which we can find in a collision zone of continental fragments, and the typical geotherm which we can find in contact, metamorphic contact algorithms. So now we are sending our rock here on its journey along a steep geotherm. So and then at higher pressures, while we are increasing the pressure and also the temperature, then we can observe that the dolomite is no longer stable in this rock with this given rock assemblage. With this given rock assemblage. So what we are forming here, a new mineral, that is the actinolite. So the laumontite is also no longer stable, we are forming the lawsonite. So and if you are comparing the laumontite and the lawsonite, then you will discover that the lawsonite has only one OH2 group, whereas the laumontite has an OH4. Dehydration reactions and decarbonization reactions. The decarbonization reactions can be seen here when the dolomite is breaking down. So then we are increasing the pressure more and more along our subduction geotherm here. So and then we are running in the blue schists. Yeah, we have here the blue schists. And then we can see the formation of the mineral glaucophan, which is the blue antipole, and the glaucophan is the antipole, which makes the blue schist blue. So then we have here also the formation of epitode. We have fenchite and paragonite in excess, and you know the paragonite, that is the sodium rich deoxyribonucleic mica, which is typical form under high pressure but low temperature conditions. There is the musculite, which is then the potassium member, is formed under medium pressure and medium temperature. Metamorphic conditions. So that we are increasing the pressure again, and we are forming here a new mineral. That is the mineral garnet. So when under these high pressure conditions, the chloride can be still stable because the temperatures are low. And we are forming here, out of the epidote and the lapsonite, we are forming clinozoicide. If we are increasing the pressure again, then we are forming here the anthracite, and therefore we have an eclogite consisting of the mineral assemblage clinozoicide, anthracite, glaucophan, talc, and garnet. So that is then the eclogite, which is typically formed in the subduction zone. So that is now, if we are sending this given rock in a subduction zone. So now we are using the rock with the same composition here, but sending them in a continental collision zone. So there is where you see is the biggest continental collision zone, or the most recent one here on Earth. That is the Himalaya. So then we are running here around. We have the still chloride, dolomite, and pupillite we have here, yeah? Then we are going here into the pupillite phases. Then here at temperatures a little bit more than 300 degrees Celsius, we are running here inside the green schists. We have of course the mineral chloride, then we are forming an actinolite as well, and we are forming here instead of the lapsonite here, we are forming the epidote. In upper green schist phase conditions, we are forming here then also biotite, that is the greenish biotite. We are forming first garnet, then we have the mineral assemblage, epidote, actinolite, chloride, garnet, plus biotite. So when we are running, while we are running inside or out of the green schist, and we are running inside into the amphibolites, then we are forming, of course, the first amphiboles, because otherwise you would never call this rock an amphibolite. Here under amphibolite phase conditions, we do not have any chloride left, but we have here the plagioclase and then the garnet. So here in the transition zone between the amphibolites and the granulites, dehydration reactions will take place and our amphibole will become consumed, and we are forming, by the consumption of amphibole, we are forming then dinopyroxene. So while we are, and then we are finally reaching the granulite phases under high pressure conditions, yeah. There we have then the 1-pyroxene granulite consisting of plagioclase, CPX, and garnet. So that is now in a geotectonic scenario of the collision of continental fragments. So here now we are running here in the contact aureole, yeah. We have the emplacement of a magma, and then we are forming for our surrounding rocks, the cutting rocks, becoming the leaden up, and therefore we are talking about contact metamorphism. So then we have the mineral assemblage here. Plagioclase epidote hornblended chloride. So here we are running then with the stability field of the silimanite by heating up. Then we have, of course, here the silimanite, plagioclase, CPX and hornblended plus biotite. Here in the transition zone between the amphibolite and the granulite, we are forming then the first pyroxene. So there we are forming then also at first the CPX, but we have here hornblende, which is a clinoamphibole, together with autoamphibole. So, running finally inside the granulite phases, then we have here under lower pressures the 2-pyroxene granulite, which I told you before as well, containing CPX and OPX and plagioclase. If we are running here to very low pressure conditions, then we are forming the pyroxene hornfelds, which contains plagioclase, CPX and OPX. So let us just wait a little bit, if the rain becomes a little bit deeper, because otherwise I just jump around. So yeah, now we can continue. What we can see on this diagram, you can see different phase fields, and you can see blue lines inside. So when these blue lines belonging to pleasure classes with different chemical composition. We are starting here with 0.9 and we are going from here to here to 0.5. So my question is now, what is this for an exchange? So that is contours of mole fraction albite in pleasure clays. So you know the two end members. Well, now okay, great, thanks. So we have the albite and we have the anortite. So the albite is sodium, Al, Si3O8, and the anortite is calcium, Al2, Si2O8. So and therefore we are making the X-albite or X-anortite. We are making the X-albite. That is albite divided by albite plus anortite. So that means here we have place which is rich in sodium. And if we are going from here to here, we are increasing the temperature. And while we are increasing the temperature, our plagioclase becomes then more rich in calcium. That's all. So then we are going to the next slide. So here we have mineral sodium. So here that is from a study from the Tanzama Mountains in central Japan. So here the author, that was Seki and all in 1969, yeah, that was now a long time ago, that was just when I was born, yeah, that other guys were running around in Japan and making the mineral isolation, while I was shouting around and shitting in my pants. So and there this guy has made mineral zones between and subdivided them from zone 1 to zone 5. So and then he could figure out a different mineral zonation. And if you are looking here at zone 1, and what type of minerals are he could identify there, that was the clinoptyptylite, stilbite, heulandite, analcime, montmorillonite, and vermiculite. So then these are all minerals which are occur in very, very low-grade metamorphic rocks, like in the sub-ridges. I mean such sub-ridges, spacious rocks, and also ridges, spacious rocks that you can also find here in Fiji. But for the higher grade metamorphic rocks, the blue schists and the eclodites and so on, there you have to go to where? Where you can find here in the South Pacific the next eclodite. It's very close by. You cannot reach it by swimming there, it's a little bit too far, but you can go by boat there or by plane. That's in New Caledonia. So then in zone 2, they have the Laumontite, they have some Viracite, but we are still running in very low grade metamorphic conditions, or under very low grade metamorphic conditions in zone 3. We have chlorite, pumpenite, phrenite, epidote. That is for me also very, very low grade, because I do not like low grade metamorphic rocks. I like always high pressure and high temperatures. So, but when we have here the occurrence of chloride, then we are sitting at least under green-schist spacious conditions. At least something. So and from here to here, our anortite, the anortite in plagioclase increases then from anortite 10 to anortite 30. So and that shows us that we are increasing the temperature. But anortite 30, like in zone 5 here, it's still not very interesting. So yeah, next slide. What do we have here? Ah, yes, yes, yes. We have here the hydrothermal stabilities with that Indonesia Myanmar geothermal field in Iceland. So and that is now the depth of the drill core. They went down there till 1,600 meters. So and then you can, and that is something what I planned actually to do, but they have destroyed it here by the head of school. Such studies like here you can do, and that you will see during our field trip in Vanua Levu, because there you have a lot of hot springs, yeah? So and then you can connect the water, and then you can, the water is also a mineral, yeah? Then you can analyze this water, and then you can measure the magnesium, the iron, the sodium, the calcium, the whole bunch. And then you can recalculate the composition of the minerals where this water was in contact with. So and then you can calculate in what for a milieu this water has been heated up. Then you know how deep to drill. There you can have the maximum power for such a power plant. Yeah? That is now the practical one of the practical use of the stuff what we are doing here, yeah? So because while you are drilling, this drilling, the drilling is actually the most expensive thing when you are planning to set up such a geothermal power plant. So and then you know also would like to know which minerals you can find there, yeah? So in the depth of, let us say, 1,000 meter or 1,500 meters, yeah? So why do you think is this important to know what minerals you can expect there in a certain depth? I mean, if you are looking for these minerals, yeah? They are very hydrous minerals, yeah? So, but what you, another thing which you don't like, when you are planning such a power plant, that is, if you have a lot of CO2 in your water, why do you think is this? That is because if you have a lot of CO2 in your water, then your drill hole mineralization will take place in your drill hole, and then the hole grows through. So and then you have to re-drill it, and that costs then also a lot of money again. So and then you are interested in also in the pH of your water. Why do you think you are interested in the pH of the water and the salinity, for example? Why is this? That is because if the pH is too low, then it is very acid, and then you cannot use cheap carbon steel for your turbine which you are running at the top, because the whole equipment becomes rusty. So whereas if you have very high pH, then your water is very basic, and then you can use cheap carbon steel for your power plant. So in all these minerals, or most of these minerals, they are very low-grade metamorphic minerals, yeah, because I mean, we are sitting here not deeper than 1,600 meters. So, next slide. Here we have a map again from Vancouver Island in British Columbia. So, what can you see or observe on this map? You have here the emplacement of a granite. That is the first thing. You have a granite, and that was the intrusion, yeah? So, and then you can see the different zones surrounding this granite. So, and what are the different zones? You can find amphibole-facious rocks very close to the granite. That's just here, yeah. Then you can find here some green-schist-facious rocks. Here then the pumpelite, actinolite zone. Here you have some zeolite-facious rocks. And here you have the phrenite, pumpelite-facious. So the mechanism is as always the same. We have here the emplacement of a granitic intrusion. Then you are heating up the surrounding areas, and of course very close to the granite. You have higher temperatures, therefore you are forming higher rocks which are formed at higher temperatures. And that is here in this example the amphibole. So these amphibolites, they are stable up to 750 degrees Celsius. So that means the granitic intrusion had probably not much more than 750 degrees Celsius, and that is then actually a relatively wet granite. So and then you are forming here more outside green-schist-facious rocks, because green-schist-facious rocks, to form a green-schist-facious rock, you don't need that much temperature. And in the outermost zones, you are forming then very low-grade metamorphic rocks, like here in the zeolite facies. So and then you are having at the beginning, you have less water coming out of the granitic intrusion, yeah. At 750 degrees you have not enriched that much water, and later on more water comes out. So but it depends also how the hydrous components are in your mafic rocks here around. So next slide. What do we have here? Yeah, we are still sitting here under very low-grade metamorphism of metamorphic rocks, which contain albite quartz in excess. So at very low pressure and temperature conditions, you are forming then all these zeolite minerals. Yeah. So when you are increasing the temperature, here in this diagram, or in this calculation, they increase the temperature then up to 400 degrees Celsius and the pressure up to 450 millipascal. So and then we are running just here inside into the green schist or inside into green schist condition, and we are forming then on a little bit more on the high temperature side tremolite, which is the calcium magnesium amphibole. So next slide. So that is then also something very nice. We have here photomicrographs of amorphic rocks from Antarctica. So in number A, yep. We have here the breakdown of Hornblende, and we are forming pyroxene and plagioclase. So in that we have under which metamorphic conditions we have the breakdown from Hornblende to form pyroxene and plagioclase. So where does this happen? In our PT diagram. From which phases to which other phases. And in which phases do we have pyroxene? And in which phases do we have amphiboles? So if the amphibole becomes here consumed, yeah, it becomes here consumed, and pyroxenes are growing here. So when that happens where? That happens in the transition zone between the amphibolites and the granulites. It is even written here, yeah? So then we are going to the next slide. So this is also a very nice diagram, and we can see here on the x-axis we have the composition of the fluid. And as I told you thousands of times before, these volatiles are mainly contained, or is mainly a mixture between water and CO2. So, then we are running here where we have a constant pressure of 600 millipascal, and we are heating it up till 750 degrees Celsius. That is then here. So then we have here a very wet rock, yeah, we have here the wet solidus. So and here we have the more dry solidus, that is where we have more and more CO2 inside. So and then we have here, we can find a rock containing of plagioclase, hornblende, CPX plus minus biotite. So and there we are talking about an amphibolite rock, or an amphibolite facious rock. So and now it depends on our fluid composition, what we are doing with our amphibolite. If we have a lot of water inside in our fluid, then we will create here melt. So and then we are forming from this melt a basic pegmatite, yeah? So we are asking our fluid is more rich in CO2, then the water activity goes down. So and then we are forming here not longer a pegmatite plus melt, then we are forming here a granulite facious rock containing of plagioclase, CPX, orthopyroxene plus minus garnet. So and there you can see how the composition affects how the fluid composition affects the metamorphic conditions and the formations of the different rock types. So next slide. So that is our diagram, which you have seen a lot of times before. That is the metamorphic facies diagram, constructed from Escola in 1950. So we have here the different facies inside, the subcreaches, the green schist, the amphibolite, the granulite, the eclogite, and the blue schist. And we have different lights inside. If we are at these lines giving us some information about the geotectonic settings where these rocks are formed. So then we are running here along such a geotherm, and that is a fast subduction. A fast subduction is very cool and very steep. So that means the pressure is always, compared to the temperature, very high. So and where do you have here a fast subduction? It is actually the fastest subduction in the world that you have also here around. So and where is this? Where is here the next subduction zone? There are two subduction zones not very far away, but not beneath the Fiji microplane. But there is one in the east and one in the west. So and where is this? That is in Tonga. Tonga is the fastest subduction zone on this planet, makes 240 millimeters per year. That is the Ferrari release between the subduction zones. So whereas here we have a slow subduction zone. So this subduction zone has then compared to the pressures, higher temperatures, that is the slow subduction zone. Where do we have this here around? That is the one in New Caledonia. That is the, not the Ferrari, that is the, I don't know, maybe the Prius. When it stopped here, then the batteries are empty. So then we have here the collision tectonics. So where do we have this? We do not have here around. So where we have the next big collision tectonics, I mentioned it just a couple of minutes ago. Not here, but the next one around. I mean, this planet is not that big, yeah? One can actually fly around the whole ball within 2 days, maybe not, but 3 days, yeah? It's not that big. So then we can still say, where is the next one still around? Nearby. That is then the Himalaya, yeah? So, and here we have collision and magmatism. And where do we have this? That is then a little bit more to the east. That is in the East African Rift. Not everywhere, but in some places. So next slide. There we have again such a diagram which shows you actually, I will now not go through all the minerals again because you should know this by now. You have just in different zones, or here they have subdivided into different phases. You have the different minerals which are stable under different pressure and temperature conditions. And that is all controlled by diffusion processes. So but that is now the textbook. Because in reality things are very often differ from the textbook, yeah? Because all these textbooks the examples, they are always assuming that every mineral is in equilibrium under different pressure and temperature conditions, and that is in reality by far not the case, because the whole planet is actually not in equilibrium. So but if we are discussing all these things from equilibrium and not equilibrium, then the class would maybe end in, I don't know, in the next 50 years. So the next slide. So here we have another picture. So we have pictures from medium pressures and high temperatures, temperature eclogites in the western gneiss region of Norway. So and here we have a massive quartz-rich eclogite with relics of zoisite. What tells you the zoisite? Is it an indicator for high pressure or low temperature? High pressure or low pressure conditions. If you are going very back to the beginning of the class, then it's an indicator for high pressures. So and then we have here an amphibolite vein cutting the eclogite. What tells you this? that tells you that you have fluids later on running through this eclogite, and then you are forming here a vein of amphibolites under amphibolifaceous conditions, that's all. So here we have another eclogite from the Verpenesect, yeah? So here the author has used his Swiss army knife as a scale, and here he has used the top from his camera, yeah? That is also very important. When you are going to the field, then you should always put a scale on it, yeah? So when there's such a top from a camera, is always a good thing, or such an army knife is also a good thing, whereas a pencil is not a good thing, because the pencil you are sharpening with time, and then the pencil becomes smaller, and then the scale is no longer correct, yeah? So, or you can also not use a baby from the next village because it is the drone, and 50 years later the scale is 4 times higher, yeah? So you should use something which is always the same size. Or a coin, yeah? A coin is also good, yeah? So here the author used the coin, yeah? So with the coin is actually not that good, because coins are also of different size, yeah? So, and here we have probably the rocket that is from Norway, and that is maybe that, or possibly the coin from Norway. So it is now for you here difficult to know what's the diameter of the coin in Norway is, yeah? If I'm looking for the Australian dollar, then I'm getting such a coin, yeah? So if you are looking here for 5 cents, it is only such a coin, yeah? So therefore, this is better, or this is better, or the hammer, the geological hammer is also good. So and here we have some clinosuicide inside, that means there we have retrograde metamorphic effects, and that is because water had an access to your rock, and then you can form such minerals. Whereas if you are looking for the next one with the coin inside, you have amphasite, garnet, and here the bluish ones, that is the kyanite, here, here, here. So that is the originally high pressure, high temperature eclogite, which was not affected by lake fluids. So because otherwise you would form some high-risk minerals inside. So and here we have another eclogite which actually has also garnet and amphasite. And here are also some autopyroxene inside. And this autopyroxene is then also formed later. Therefore, one have always to figure out which mineral has formed at which time, and what was the sequence of the formation of these minerals. So that means which one has been formed at first and which one has formed later. So and therefore one have to check different textures. And these textures can be observed best in thin section. So next slide. Yeah, that is this diagram. that is constructed from an Alaline gabbro in the Alps. There you have it 3,000 meters above the water level, you can find some gabbros. So and this gabbro is still very, very fresh, but hardly metamorphosed. So and therefore, we have now also different stages. For example, here we have the magmatic stage. So in the magmatic stage means that is our mineral composition, what you can find here, which is the mineral which is representative for the mineral composition of the gabbro. So in there you have still the mineral olivine inside, you have a little bit autopyroxene inside, you have the orchite inside, and we have labradorite inside, and that is the legoclase. So, and if we are talking here about such a rock containing olivine, orchite, and legoclase, where you can find here the next one. That is the composition of gabbro and the basalt. So the next ones we can just find here in the shelf or the ground where we are walking around here every day. So then we have here the coronite stage. A corona texture, the most famous one are the garnet corona textures. These are garnets which are formed around another mineral. They can grow around CPX, they can grow around legoclase, or they can grow around scapolite, whatever you want. So, but this is a feature that we are heating something up. So, and then we have here in the coronitic stage, we have the granulite. So, when I mean granulite is hot, then this gabbro was affected by very hot fluids. So then we can subdivide the granulite here in this example in an early granulite stage and in the late granulite stage. And in the late granulite stage, we have then some hydration, first hydration, yeah? So, but now we are going from the granulite into the eclogite stage. What happens there? I mean, what happened to this rock when we are going from the granulite into the eclogite? You are increasing the pressure, yeah? So if we are going to the Alps and increasing the pressure, like here in the Himalaya or whatever you want, then we have some compression, yeah? So that is the story behind it. Then we are increasing the pressure, then we have the early descent pass, we have the main return point, that means we have here peak metamorphic condition, and here we are going then on the retrograde path. So in the retrograde path goes then from the eclogite into the amphibolite and then into the green schist. So here in the amphibolite you are forming the symplectite. That is another very nice structure. What you can see in thin section. So in there you are using different structures to get the first idea what is the history behind your rock sample. So and then we have here the green schist. So and if we are talking about the green schist, we are forming then a chloride. So next slide. That is the last slide, wonderful, because I'm getting now hungry. So here we have the same in a PT diagram. We have here at first the crystallization of the magma. Yeah? So in the crystallization of the magma, that is just the formation of this gabbro. Yeah? So like we have here also in the Yahuda Creek, there you have your gabbro. Yeah? So when that is, and the gabbro is usually formed at the oceanic crust. Yeah? So when this gabbro was dated, in this case in the Alps, to, of an age of 164 million years. So that is therefore we know at least 164 million years ago, there are no Alps, and there was no Germany, and there was no Switzerland, and there was no Austria. So there was actually an ocean. Yeah? So in the Alps, they are actually much younger. The Alps are 35 million years old. Yeah? That is actually not too old. Yeah? I mean, here the oldest gabbro is 46 or 47 million years old, and while you have here formed in Fiji the first oceanic crust, I mean, that was also all underwater. Then you formed a little bit later, you started with the formation of the Alps. There was also water. So, and then we have crustal thickening. So, and if we have crustal thickening, then we are making a more thick crust, yeah, because otherwise the water has not quality crustal thickening. So, and that is then due to compression. Then we have crustal thickening. So, and then we have granulite phasous recrystallization. That is here. And then we have subduction. So, and this subduction leads then to the formation of the eclogites. So, and then you are going finally back to the Earth's surface. Where we can now observe all these rock samples and find it and study them. So then we are done for today.